The Bible says to act justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with God. That's a wonderful statement, isn't it? It's a powerful mandate, but it leaves us with a profound question. What is justice? Is justice a matter of crime and punishment? Is justice about laws and rules? Is justice about fairness and equality? Perhaps justice is all of those things, but perhaps justice is something more. When we think about justice, really, it's a collection of values and principles that interrelate and intersect. And how is it that we're able to understand justice? By doing it, by pursuing justice. Let me give you an example. Albert Einstein was said to have spent his entire career chasing a ray of light. All of his research was really to get to know the properties of light, how it moves through matter and space and time. In all that study, he never actually fully understood light, but in the process of pursuing it, he made some of the most remarkable discoveries of his generation and for generations to come. When we do justice, we are also chasing light. But the difference is, our light is the one who created matter, space, and time. It's the one who created you and me and the universe. And when we pursue him, that's when we start to understand what it means to act justly, love mercy, and walk humbly. But having said that, I have to fess up. It is hard work pursuing justice. It takes knowledge and know-how, but it also takes tremendous effort, tremendous courage, and tremendous patience. The reality is, most of the justice issues of our day cannot get resolved in our lifetime. Now, that's a tough message for this quick fix, fast track, 140 character world we live in, but it's the truth. It's the reality. It's what it takes. In that sense, justice is actually a lot like mountain climbing. And all around us, there are mountains. Political mountains, social mountains, economic mountains. Political mountains that say things like, if you're not left or right, you are not correct. Political mountains that tell you, you don't need to vote, it doesn't matter, when it matters very much. Political mountains that say, if you don't believe what I believe, I can discriminate against you, persecute you, and even martyr you. Those are the mountains of corruption, oppression, terror. There are also social mountains, mountains that say, because I look different, or I speak different, or I come from somewhere different, that somehow I am less, and I have less value for some of the protections and opportunities that are available to others. Those types of mountains give us a devaluing of not just individuals, but of humanity. There's also economic mountains. Economic mountains that say that there are haves and there are have-nots, and that we are in a constant debate over capitalism's pros and cons, and socialism's cons and cons. But what are they leaving in their wake? Poverty, crisis, exploitation. And these mountains start to monetize human beings. Now, having said all this, those are difficult mountains, aren't they? But what if I added to the difficulty the fact that sometimes we don't even see the mountains? You see, sometimes they're so far off in our horizon that we can't make them out. Or they're such large scale that we can't grasp them. So if we can't see the mountain, do we not recognize they're there? Do we not pursue them? Let me give you another example. Eric Weinmeier, he was an adventurer. He's a mountain climber. And he climbed Mount Everest. Now that's a remarkable feat, isn't it? To climb Mount Everest. What if I told you that feat was made more incredible by the fact that he is blind? So, how does a blind man climb to the top of the world? Well, I'll tell you how. He starts with preparation, mentally and physically, just as much as any climber, perhaps even more. He also adds to that this sort of stirring up of this incredible will that says, I can do this. And it also takes him into the realm of having to actually engage in it and do it, no matter how much it hurts. And it requires him to rely heavily on the guides that go with him. Now, the reality is, whenever you see someone at the top of a summit, on a stage, it's really just a representative of a whole group of people, a team behind them. Now, here's what we need to keep in mind as we're talking about these mountains, about this light. Justice is really not just about facing mountains. It's really not even about getting to the summit. Justice is about the climb. It's about the process and the journey. It's about how we do what we do. It's about working with people intergenerationally, intersectorally. It's about being collaborative and creative and ethical. It's about reaching back to the people who've gone before us and reaching forward to the people that are going to take us to the future. It's also about recognizing that light and realizing that collectively we can say, we can do this. And the reason is we have the confidence in the one that gives us the courage to persevere, that gives us the peace that passes understanding, that is both the definition and the embodiment of justice. And when we make Christ the center and circumference of our doing and our being, then we will know what is justice.